Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Kevin McDonald, but you knew that. At least I hope you knew that. And we've got a great guest for you today. Her name is Audrye Arbe, and she is, oh boy, I got to go through all the things that you do, and you do a lot. And so what I may do is just ask you to go through, because you know your story better than me. And by the way, she's connecting to us from Costa Rica, and so she's having to use her phone for whatever reason. The computer was destined not to work today, but we can see you fine, and we should be able to hear you fine. So, Audrye, how are you today?
I am really well. It's beautiful here. I mean, when I look at your opening and all that city stuff, that's not what I see here. That's like New York. I look out and I see trees. I'm in Puerto Viejo, and it's just a very different environment.
Yeah, we have a tree, maybe two. No, and
Okay.
I live in Washington, and it's the evergreen state. So we do have lots of trees and stuff. But it's great to talk to you, and we've talked before, and we wanted to talk today about a lot of the things that you do in life, and also some of the things about your soul essence, yourself, your personality, different ways that you can be healthy with eating properly and organic and that kind of stuff. And we're gonna talk about all that. And you're also clairvoyant, and you do talk to people in all kinds of settings. So it's great to have you here. And I'm sad to report, and I should get this out early, that there's a special reason why you're here. And I wanted to support you in that, and your sister. And that is, your sister is going through what happens to a lot of us in life, is we have a physical problem, and it compounds into more and more and stuff. So tell us a little bit about your sister's struggles and what you're doing to try and help her.
Okay, so it is my nieces and nephew who are right there, because this is in the United States and I'm in Costa Rica. It's different. And she had a heart attack. Okay, I will say for the past few years, I've known things weren't quite right with her. And I'm a healer and clairvoyant, and I was in Florida. And I would say to her, she disagreed with me. And then I came to not because of that, then I came to Costa Rica, and then I heard from my nieces that my sister had a heart attack. She has had open heart surgery. She has had brain surgery for an aneurysm. She now has a ventilator. It's been on for about a month and a half, which is longer than anybody would prefer it. And she had a tracheostomy with a breathing tube. So she's in a long-term care facility, and I am raising money through a GoFundMe so that I can go there. It's not just for airfare. Okay, I also require money to go from, if I stay at her place, from where she lives to where the care facility is. And if I did an Uber, it would be $150 round trip, which is a lot of money. And if I did it taking an Uber to a train called the Tri-Rail, which literally is 3 little cars, so an Uber to the Tri-Rail to the Uber to the facility, it would cost less, but it would still be quite expensive. And I'd like to say I have all that money. I require assistance, so I can be there in person. Where I am here, I am a healer, so I've been sending healings every single day, several times a day. I've been talking with her and speaking with her, let's call it on the psychic airwaves or whatever word one wants to use for that language, because I do that every day. And I feel at this point a push to get there. And if you'd like, I can give you the URL. And I don't know how to write it in this thing. Normally my computer works, but today it was doing weird stuff, and I'm just not the techie person.
Let's give us the URL. And the reason that you're experiencing issues with your computer is there's a worldwide thing going on right now that is affecting a lot of electronic devices and stuff,
Oh,
including
really?
airlines. Yeah, including
Oh, I
airlines
saw
and
that. Yes, I saw that. I click something and something else shows up. I thought, what? So that's not my bailiwick. There are people that are great at that. I'm great at other things. So the URL, and I'll say it slowly, is https:// then GoFund, GoFund.me, then slash the digit 3AD, two letters, lowercase, 3AD 49383. And then you'll see a picture of me from about 10 years ago. I look a little different than now, of me pop up and an explanation of what it is. And people, I really am asking, please, if this touches your heart, my sister, although she's got her daughters there and her son comes in and they took off from work, it's a whole thing. I need to be there also. And I'm the big sister, she's the little sister, and it's just time. And I don't want to cry. I really would rather not cry, but I might. I want to be there. So I am literally asking from my heart to make it possible for me to be able to be near. I always call her my little sister because I'm born a year and 8 months before her. So I'm the big sister. I want to be near my little sister. I want,
well, and I hope
I
that
want to touch her hand. I want to hug her. I want to do whatever I can do and then say the things that only I can say, because I've known her before she was, well, I saw her in my mom's belly, but I've known her more than anybody who's alive right now. And because I am a healer, and although I do send energy long distance, call it absent healing or long distance healing, I want to be there. The guidance is it's time for me to be there. And although I wouldn't always say I was obedient, I am definitely obedient and follow the guidance. I have learned to do that, and I do that. And for me, it's time for me to be there.
well, I hope that
And
we can get you there.
yeah, https:// GoFund.me/3AD 49383. And thank you so much for allowing me to do that, Kevin. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, and I would even suggest that you can probably just go to GoFundMe and type in Audrey Arbe, and it'll
Yeah.
come up. It'll come up. It generally does. So
Oh,
I,
good.
I wish you luck, because everybody's family. We all go through tough times. I lost my brother. I lost my mom in the last 4 years or so, and it's one of those things. It's part of life. It's part of
Well,
life.
may I say something? People, I'm an energy healer. And I'm in my 80s now. I just had a birthday 2 days ago. Literally, I had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And you may have read this in books, and I've been saying it for years and years and years and years and years. Deal with your emotional stuff. Don't bury it. Don't look to hide it. You don't have to make everything perfect. Nobody is going to be perfect, is like a phony something. I don't know. It's a made up whatever, maybe robots. But we're humans. But if you hold on to thoughts and feelings that are damaging. If you're filled with anger and you don't find a way to positively transmute it by taking appropriate actions, and that's not by harming anyone, it isn't. That's old third dimensional reality that goes nowhere positive. And we're on Positive Talk Radio, and
Or
nobody, yes, and nobody, and I have an Aries ascendant, so I know how to go, "Ugh." I know how to do that. And I do it with passion if and when. I have had to work on myself. I still do. My internal dialogue, I call it the internal dialogue, is sometimes horrendous. So I use the protective prayer. If you want to know what it is, go to my website, Audrey Now, AudryenoW.com, and look for it on the landing page, and stuff like that. And I teach it. It's a way for you to tell the universe that you are going to be releasing some feelings and whatever they may look. Here's a protective prayer. Anything I may say, whether I say it with my mouth, my mind, consciously or unconsciously, is to be taken into the universe as light and love, or anything higher. Anyone I may mention, consciously or unconsciously, in any way, shape, or form, is to be protected in light and love. Any places, spaces, vibrations made available within me as a result of doing any of this is to be filled with light and love, or whatever might be higher than that. I do this for my highest good, the highest good of all concerned, and the highest good of the universe, multiverse. And I complete with Amen, Ashe, Aho. And you say, thank you, give gratitude, thank you. I'm doing it every day. And if you're wondering, do I sometimes have negative thoughts? You could, yes, I do. I am not happy about this with my sister. I'm definitely not happy that she didn't listen when I said do this, that, and the other. And then yeah, and then she yelled at me. That was not, I was not fun. But nobody, my sister is a really good woman. My sister has always done what she could to help people. She's Pisces. And I need to be there to touch her. Okay. And yes, I do need some financial support. And nobody should go through what she is going through. Nobody. So that's part of what you do. And so inside of yourself, if you sit with somebody, you don't like some of what's going on politically, that's a whole big thing right there. If somebody doesn't like some of what's going on with the climate, if somebody still thinks we're not going through some climate change, that's how you think. I'm not sure how you get that way, but that's how you might think. Do what you can in your own actual life to make a difference. What I recommend, I'm a long time vegetarian, a really long time. I've been one form of vegetarian or another for over 50 years. I've been mostly raw vegan for what, 20 or 25 years, give or take. So whether you like being a vegetarian, whether you don't, whether you like the V word, whether you don't, use plant-based, use seed, SEED based, use whatever you want, one day a week, refrain from eating any kind of animal food or cheese or whatever. Only use plant-based. Why? Because it will help the environment. It'll help your health, that I guarantee. It'll help your health. One day a week. You can do more, but at least one day a week, every single week, because we need to enhance our healthy earth. And for anyone who thinks we've already gone beyond where you can do that, no, we still have some time, but it isn't time to just fritter away and go, yeah, I don't have to do anything. If you're hearing this, you are meant to do something, the way you think. When we send out love, we're enhancing the vibration in the climate. Everything is connected. Everything has some form of consciousness. Everything has some form of being alive. Not the way humans are, because that's human. Dogs don't have it the way humans do.
my name is Kevin McDonald, host of. Sorry
That
about
was
that.
interesting. That's okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one that these things happen to. I
Well,
read somewhere some people were debating. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was reading somewhere where some people were debating, do animals have feelings? Of course, animals have feelings. How do people not know that? You can see it in a dog's eyes. You can see it in any animal's vibration. I love cats. I really love cats. You can see it with cats. They love you. They're going to go nice to you. They're also putting their scent on you and claiming you. So every other cat knows you belong to them. So they're a bit territorial, but so are humans. That's not like horrible unless it's vindictive, and then it's a different thing altogether. Live as though the life in everything matters. Live as though everything has consciousness, because on some level it does. We all do. The earth has consciousness. This is not a dead nothing, nor do we want it to be a dead nothing. And the earth now needs us to start taking care of the earth and not treating it like a garbage dump. I just read right before this podcast that I think it's a Norwegian company. I'm not 100% sure. I don't recall. But they've come up with some kind of bioplastic that decomposes in 2 months. So they're testing it and getting whatever kind of papers and stuff you need to get so that they can actually produce it. Folks, we have the intelligence and the brilliance as a species. Everyone has something. So before you throw in the towel, so to speak, and think there's nothing, it's over. No, it's over when you create that you're over. And you don't need to. You really don't.
Well,
Take pauses.
there will be one point in time when you decide that it's time to go home, but that time can be
Yes,
far, far away.
yes, yes, but that doesn't mean life on earth or because it's difficult. Look, I have had emotional ups and downs over this situation with my sister and within myself. This has definitely not been an easy thing for me. I definitely wanted to leave. I also have to be able to fund it all, because while I'm gone, I still have to pay all the bills I have to pay. They don't disappear.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird? They don't. They
Yeah,
still have to be taken care of.
that is so true. By the way, we're talking with Audrye Arbe, and she's a clairvoyant, and she does a lot of different things. She's a healer, um, and she does events and all kinds of things. And right now, she's looking for help for her sister. So if you find it in your heart to give help to her and her sister, that would be just wonderful. Even, anything, $5 helps. And
Yeah,
so, and by the way, I'm going to play you a world premiere here in a few minutes in the second half of the show. And I think that you will appreciate it to a great degree. It's called the overview effect. Have you ever heard of that?
okay. Not yet,
You will, but we're going to play that at
but
the
I look forward to it.
and right now we need to take a
Okay.
quick break and go to her website, which is audreynow.com, and find out all about her and work with her. And by the way, if GoFundMe is not a thing for you, you can also work with her, and she can do some stuff for you, and you can pay her that way as well. So we need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
They have your eyes. They have your ears. They have your smile. Now all they need is a little more of your time. Make a difference in your child's life, because anyone can be a father. It takes time to be a dad.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We've got a great guest for you today. Her name is Audrey, and she is a clairvoyant. She is also a vegan for 50 years. I did have to ask you, why is cheese a bad thing? Is it because of the number of cows it makes? That we use the milk to make the cheese, and because of the cow flatulence it affects the atmosphere? Is that kind of the motivation, or is it actually the cheese itself?
It's both. And I know this because I went to like an all vegan activist group. And at the time, I was sometimes eating a little bit of dairy cheese because I'm not fond of the vegan cheese in Costa Rica. And so, what I was told, first of all, not everybody can eat dairy. So
True.
a person has to check that out. But the main thing that they were saying is when somebody is taking the milk or making the dairy from a cow, then the calf, the baby, is not getting it. And then they're killing them. So we're depriving the little animals, the babies, of their food. And so that was part of it. I used to love cheese. It's not like I don't like it. And it's, if people eat a lot of cheese, they create mucus in the body and other kinds of stuff. And depending on how it's made or how it's processed, there can be a lot of bacteria in it. It is not always like on the highest level. And I know years back, and this was in New York, I wanted to get raw milk. This was before I was vegetarian or vegan, but I wanted to get raw milk and you couldn't get it. Now I think you can get it in some places because if it's raw milk, it's made from cows that have been checked for what health and purity. A lot of stuff that people don't know, contaminants, are in dairy, are in milk. And people are having some negative health situations about that. And depending on the cheese, again, and somebody's chemical reaction to it, it could be good, it could be bad. So when they got on my case, because I said I don't like the vegan cheese here, and I don't, the brand they use is not my favorite. And so I bought some from this guy who makes vegan cheese. It was okay. I love the stuff I'm able to get in the States, but it's in the States, can't get it here. So right now I am again purely vegan. And I'll tell you this, to me, it's really amazing for my health. I mean, I am literally in my 80s. And yes, I don't look how I looked at 18. I definitely look a little older because I am and all that. And I'd like to say looking the way I looked, say, at 25, that would be nice. However, it's what it is. I am so blessed. I have excellent health. And if you want to know how, first of all, I have a book, Vim Vigor Vitality Vegan, and you can get a free sampler on my website. I have 4 books, and you can get free samplers of all of them. You can download it or print it out or that kind of thing. 1, eat organic. We do not know what is being put in anything. The water is at risk. And if you've been paying any attention, now we have all these little microplastics everywhere. It's in blood. It's in the male sexual organ, in case I'm not allowed to say that. It's it's everywhere, okay? So what I just said, this company and other companies are making different kinds of bioplastics that decompose in 2 months. I'm eager to see what happens. It's that I have to just say this. Some of the companies that have been making this, and I don't want to name names because I don't want anybody contacting you with a suit or anything like that, no lawsuits. But just let's say that there are a lot of big, humongous, huge companies that they know what they're doing is poisonous. They know this. They don't care. They may say they care and put a smile on a poster, but that means nothing. They were just after some kind of profit. And if people got sick, so what? That's been the case with certain fertilizers, which again, unless you want me to name them, I'm not going to name them.
I'd rather you not, quite frankly.
That's what I said. I'm not going to name them.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's a good idea because of staying on the air, giving positive news. So
Well,
really,
before we leave cheese, I wanted to ask you, is there a difference between like cheddar cheese or Swiss cheese or now I know processed cheese like American cheese, which is a processed product, isn't naturally made.
yeah,
But for mozzarella, is there a good cheese? I mean, like, Audrey, pizza, well, that's a big
yeah,
deal in a lot of places, and
yeah.
a
But
mozzarella
real,
cheese is important.
yeah, but they don't usually use that. If you
That's
go
true.
into most pizza places and ask, are they using actual cheese? And you can find the person that will tell you the truth. Some of it isn't real. I don't know what it is, but some of it isn't the real cheese. And if you find a place like Costa Rica is a little cleaner than that, especially in Cahuita, where I used to live, and because they said they have cows that literally eat grass. They eat fresh green grass. That's not what cows eat in the United States. They're fed all kinds of chemicals. Some of the cows are fed, this is ground up other animal disgusting things, okay? They're held in like little cages things. The animal is scared and nervous. When you eat the cheese made from those kind of animals, you get the fear, you get the anger, you get the vibration when you're eating that product. Everything is connected. And even though people can go, yeah, but I don't care if they do that. Okay. There are people that can poo poo the kind of work I do because how do I show that I'm doing healing energy work? But people, not everyone, not always, or my sister would be better, but people feel different. They get better depending what it is. I had been so upset over this. I called in a Reiki master to work with me, and a lot of my anger disappeared. My sadness was still there, okay? And all that. We have to take responsibility. So, with cheese or meat, if you're going to eat it, get it from animals that have been, in some kind of way, raised in some kind of humane way where the environment really is clean, not just somebody says it and plasters a smile, which means nothing. Okay. That if they're supposed to eat grass, they actually eat grass and not who the heck knows what. I mean, I've been in Costa Rica now for about a year and a half. And I can tell you it's a different energy here than in the United States. And I like the States. I'm from the States. It's a different energy. Maybe the fact that there's no military, although there are countries that help protect Costa Rica, among which I think is the United States. But it's a different vibration. And if somebody is at all sensitive, you know it right away. And it is not perfect here. So if anyone's going to call and say, what about this, and this? Yeah, there are issues here. There's issues with the food. There's issues with the land. There's issues with misuse. There are other issues. But if you want to be healthy, one, first connect with source, whatever you call it. Do some form of meditation, prayer, connection. Fill yourself with energy and light. Eat healthfully. I recommend at least one day a week, vegetarian, vegan. And don't double up on meat or whatever the other way, because yes, the cows and the calves, they do give off methane when they pass gas to the point that it has harmed the environment. Literally,
That's true.
literally.
That's true.
And,
Go ahead.
and I like breathing. Okay. And the fact that my sister, the fact that my sister is on a ventilator because she can't yet breathe on her own, let me tell you how important it is to breathe. So I teach breathing attunements. And if you want, I'll do one while we're on here, and you'll see them on my website, a couple of them. Do some form of exercise. I used to go to the gym in the States because when you're a senior, you can get something called silver sneakers, and the gym is free. That's not the case in Costa Rica. And so it's a whole different thing. So I do yoga and I jump on my rebounder, which I did take with me. It goes with me wherever I live. And I do walks. Do something. If at first all you could do is move your hand, move your hand. Move your head. Stretch. Do something. It's use it or lose it. There's truth to that. And people who might say, oh, when you get old, you can't do anything. That is so not true. It depends what you do with yourself. And yes, sometimes stuff happens. Okay. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen and it takes whatever it takes to go beyond it. That happens. Okay. That doesn't mean you just give everything up. If you're still working, do something that means something to you. If you've retired, I'm definitely retirement age. I still do readings. I love doing readings. I love it. I paint rocks. You see them? Frequency stones. Yeah. They all have crystals in them. They're all unique and different. They're on the website. Some of them are on the website, not yet all of them. Do something that creates something positive. Beauty alone. When you look at beauty, it changes the brain patterns. It uplifts the heart. When you harmonize your breath, the heart and the mind, look up Heart Math Institute, HMI. It's either .com or .org. I don't remember. And they will teach you right there, free of charge. You can take some of their courses right there and start harmonizing your own self. One has to take personal responsibility. We are literally in the age of Aquarius. We have put our feet into it. And right now, while Pluto is in Aquarius, it's going to retro back to Capricorn in September and then complete that sojourn on November 19th and then be in Aquarius for about 19 years. A year and a half later, Neptune is going to traipse out of Pisces and go into Aries. Another year or so after that, Uranus goes out of Taurus and goes into Gemini. We are going to be seeing on this planet a big change in the way humans operate. Aquarius is meant to be for the people. It's also unique, different. It's an air sign. Every Aquarian I have met pretty much has some kind of unique something about themselves. We all do. I'm a Cancerian and I don't have Aquarian planets, little asteroid, and stuff like that. Use this stuff. If you want your chart done, I do those, okay? Or find whomever you would prefer. It's up to you. But please, please, please don't sit there in a lack of knowing anything and think that's how it is. That's not how it is. A person can grow and change anywhere.
I need to stop you here because I got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. By the way, Covenant House had a guest on. Her name was Holly just the other day, and she tells me that in addition to running the ads and stuff, she actually contributes to them because she tells me that Covenant House, and she verified the fact that Covenant House is a really, really good place if you need to, if you have excess monies and you want to help one of the 4 million homeless kids or people that are hungry in this country, you can do that. So Audrye Arbe is our guest, and she's a clairvoyant. She is a wonderful talker. She's a speaker, and she also is a vegan, which, by the way, now I wanted to ask you about being a vegan, because there is a school of thought that there are people that are vegan that are very unhealthy because they're not getting the things in their diet and the nutrition that they need in a well-rounded, balanced diet. What say you to that?
I want to say this elegantly. They're probably eating, listen, being vegan doesn't mean somebody eats healthfully. They could be eating crap. Oh, they could be drinking soda. Okay. They can say they're vegan and they can be drinking soda, all chemicals, and some kind of who knows what that's either made with white flour. Now they're calling, what are they calling it? Ultra processed food, that I have called junk and garbage. I'm not saying that's a good word. So they can be eating only ultra processed food. No one's going to be healthy doing that. Nobody. And if somebody's really vegan, like me, you have to make sure you're getting vitamin B12. So I use nutritional yeast that has been fortified to make sure that I am getting vitamin B12.
Uh-oh. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a worldwide
fridge. So every day I take some bottle and take, we're back? We're not back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back now. You're back now.
Good. So, I am not blinking on and off. That is the technology.
The technology is it's a worldwide thing, and they're trying to work with it and to fix it. But if we have any disruptions, that's probably more so what it is.
Okay. Being vegan doesn't mean someone's healthy. It depends what you eat. Are you drinking a lot of water? Are you drinking pure water? Are you getting stuff that is so filled with plastic that you don't even know what's going on with yourself?
I drink water that has hops and grains in it.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me now?
Are you talking about beer? Yes.
The essence of
am I allowed to say that word? Is that
what, beer? You're allowed to say it and drink it. It's I'm just kidding you.
Do any of that in moderation, and if you're going to do that, but I don't happen to like beer. Okay.
Oh, you foolish child.
Yeah. I drink something here we call pipa, which is coconut. You know, like a little chocolate. So I make raw vegan and they are no sugar, not cooked. They are.
Well, there she goes. And here she comes.
So it's like anything else. I'm here. Can you see me? Hey, hi.
I can see. You're good.
It's like anything. It's like I love chocolate. I've loved chocolate since I'm little. And here in Costa Rica, I get the actual pods. You could even get them off the trees if the tree hasn't gotten too high, and ripen it. I don't necessarily get it right off the tree. I get it from someone who got it right off the tree. And I make yummy, delicious, raw, vegan cacao or chocolate stuff. The reason chocolate has a bad reputation is, number one, most of the chocolate that's sold is filled with sugar, filled with white sugar and a bunch of other stuff that makes it not so pure and not so good. and it's been processed. And I don't know what people put in it. And do I trust most of them? Frankly, no, I don't at all.
Well, I sold food for a long time. I was in the restaurant business and sold food and stuff. And by and large, you are correct, young lady, that there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of preservatives and things put in a lot of the food. And the problem is the purer food. I'll give you an example. We were talking about cheese earlier. Most of the mozzarella that is used is a blend. They use a little bit of Swiss cheese, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and there's some preservatives in all of that. To get a really good mozzarella um, cheese to put on your pizza, it's like doubles the cost, which is
Yeah.
why restaurants don't use it, because it's a lot more expensive to produce than the cheaper stuff, and that's the sacrifice that some people make. But you don't have to at home.
Well, that's the whole thing. This whole thing, when quote fast food became a thing, fast food. I think it was in the 40s when they started putting certain chemicals in certain things so that it would last longer. So it could last longer, but when that goes out of hand, which it's out of hand now, it's become out of hand a long time ago. One's not getting the nutrition. And I don't care what somebody says that they tested it and you get the same nutrition from an organic, say, tomato, as you get from something that's been sprayed and who the heck knows what, and then put in a can and then you eat it. It is not the same. The vital life force. One of the reasons that I am raw vegan, not just vegan, but mostly raw, not totally. I definitely eat nuts and oils and things like that. But with raw vegan, you get the enzymes, and it's the enzymes in the food that give us a lot of the food value and the nutrition. And if people aren't getting that, and look around at the United States and elsewhere, you will see people aren't getting it. It's one of the reasons people are so tired. Yes, I get tired also. It's not like I don't. But the stuff has been adulterated. The air has been adulterated. The water has been adulterated. Our planet, which is a gorgeous, stunning planet, we evolved from this planet. And do I think that there was, how do I want to say this, maybe 200,000 years ago, some interference so that we're not apes, that we became human? Do I think that? Yes, I do. I'm in alignment with Greg Braden on that. That's a whole other conversation. If you want to get into it, we can, or not, we can just let it be.
Well, you know
And
what? You know what we're going to do right now is I'm going to play you, because you have segued into this this little trailer pretty effectively. So this is a world premiere, by the way. I'm going to play it, and I would love your opinion. All right.
okay, thank you.
With Kevin McDonald, where I invite you to listen to Positive Talk in all of its forms: YouTube, Facebook, podcasts, and on the Brushwood Media Network. The mission of this show is to help people understand that we are all one people living together on this little speck in space. I realize that it's a foreign concept to many, those who value nationalism to their place of origin or the group of people they belong to. But I would like you to consider, just for a moment, that we have it all wrong. What do I mean, you ask, and how do I know? Well, I'm sure that you know experience is the best teacher, because as we work through these personal moments in time, the results can be and often are life-changing. Some of these life-changing experiences could be everyday moments or major events like near-death experiences, divorce, death of a loved one, and the list goes on. But today I want to point out a common experience had by many, not here on Earth, but in the expanse of space. You see, over the last 55 years or so, the world has sent many humans into space, either going to the moon or circling the Earth. Many of these individuals have returned with an experience so common, it has been given a name: the overview effect. The overview effect is a cognitive shift that affects some astronauts when they see the Earth from space. Many say they no longer identify with a specific nationality or culture after seeing the Earth from outer space. Instead, they see themselves and all citizens on Earth as one people living on one world. Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man on the moon, said, "From space, astronauts cannot see the physical borderlines or national boundaries. All evidence of division and separateness vanishes. The conflicts that divide countries, cultures, and people become less important, and the need to create a peaceful, united planetary society which works together to protect this pale blue dot becomes critical. There's a startling recognition that the nature of the universe is not what we have been taught. I not only saw the connectedness of it, I felt it. I was overwhelmed with the sensation of physically and mentally extending out into the cosmos. I realized that this was a biological response of my brain attempting to reorganize and give meaning to the information about the wonderful and awesomeness process that I was privileged to view. It is quite common for astronauts who experience the overview effect to engage in global philanthropic works after their return to Earth. Astronaut Ron Garan, a NASA astronaut who traveled to space on the Space Shuttle Discovery in 2008 and has spent over 128 days in space, felt the overview effect on his third spacewalk and started a philanthropic group called the Fragile Oasis for astronauts who've experienced similar philosophical shifts. Garan wrote a book about his experiences with the overview effect entitled Orbital Perspective, and teamed up with filmmaker Guy Reed to make a documentary called Planetary, which investigates the phenomenon of the overview effect from the perspective of scientists, ecologists, philosophers, and Buddhist monks, who all share a common belief: the Earth is one world, and we are one people. Joanne Macy, a philosopher and ecologist featured in Planetary, says that we don't have to go to space to experience the overview effect. We don't have to be an astronaut. You can feel it just by closely studying the image of Earth from space. When studying images of Earth, you're struck with such gladness at the beauty and originality of it that you don't have time to think about how it's going to turn out. All you know is you'll serve it to the best of your ability to the last breath. Joanne Macy, philosopher and ecologist. In fact, one of the most striking observations they make is just how frail our home is. The atmosphere appears so thin and vulnerable, which, as you know, allows us to live and breathe here. It must be protected. They also, to a person, are in awe of the universe, the stars, and the sheer majesty of it all. So as we continue to wander around our home making false choices and discounting reality, I know, and I hope that you will agree, that this is a time to fundamentally change our view of life and our time here from one of separateness, hate, division, and fear to one of acceptance, love, and kindness, taking care of each other and our home, the planet Earth, and everything and everyone contained within. Bless to you all. Now, I know you missed part of that, but what did you think of the part you saw?
Oh, my phone died. Okay, it's charging and it died. I have no explanation, and now I can get back on my laptop. So you go explain. I loved it. I loved it. I thought this is exactly what's needed now. This is what we're speaking about. If people don't know this, our planet, this Earth, is going through the photon belt. It does that. I think it's every 12,000 years. I might be a little off on the number of years. And the planet is being literally showered with a way of getting higher energy, higher vibration. We are going through stuff astrologically, that is for sure, to upraise our frequency. So the way to do it is also take personal responsibility to do what you can do. You're doing it with this show. I'm doing it by being here and in every other way. We're living, despite what it may look like, in a time of actual miracles. This is a wake-up call to our species. And I don't know how many people know this, but I think we were like Homo sapiens sapiens. A lot of our genome, and not our, I mean like people, has a mixture with Neanderthals or with Denisovans. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, or others that when we were just kind of starting out some years ago, there were other human-like beings. And since we could mate with them, I'm not saying you and I wasn't, okay, but since humans could mate with them and did, our species, folks, and made children, that's how you see the DNA. There's a lot of stuff that most people don't have a clue about our background. I mean, look at Göbekli Tepe. Who in the world built that thing? I mean, it's older than the pyramids. I don't know who built it. And no, it wasn't something that just rolled down in the water. No, I don't believe any of that. I believe that either we had abilities that have been temporarily kind of closed off, and that when we evolve more and we won't make more of a chaos, it'll be opened up within us again. It is that time now. We are all one, unique, so we're not bored, interesting, because we are a very curious, investigatory, creative species. I mean, who'd want to look all the same?
Audrey, I got a question for you. A couple questions, actually.
Go ahead.
And one would be this. Now, I'm going to run some numbers by you, and I'm going to help you through this, because this is something that I don't hear very many people talk about, and that is this: the Earth is at least 4.8 billion years old.
So I've read.
And so, consequently, now, do you know how long a billion years is?
Do I know personally? It's like very hard to conceptualize. Like a billionaire, it's like, okay.
It's a very hard to conceptualize.
100 million, what is it, 1,000 million?
It's 1,000 million years. Now,
That's
a million years is 1,000,000 years. And so when we're looking at the humanity in its entirety, and near as we can tell, humanity goes back a couple 100,000 years. We have artifacts for that, but I'm here to tell you that the Earth has been around a lot longer than that. And if you go back 500 million years ago, when the Earth was 4 billion years old, there could have been, and probably was, other cultures of the same thing that was of human beings, or some variant of that goes back, and that was so long ago that all of that is gone, except for they keep finding. Now, the oceans have been only explored about 5%. So 95% is unexplored, and they keep finding things that look like man made them, that are in the ocean someplace, that they cannot necessarily place how old it is yet. But they're working on it. Some of which, like in England, the statues in, I forget what they're called.
Oh, the Easter Island thing? That's Easter Island. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And they found an identical one in the ocean that is even older than that one. Stonehenge. That's what
That's it. Yes.
But they found one in the ocean that's identical to it, that is twice its age. And so consequently, there is so much about our planet we don't know. And I will tell you that our planet is probably going to fight back against people that are negative towards it, and it's going to survive. We may not, because of that, because we live in such a narrow field of what we can live in. It makes it really difficult. But that's, I just thought I'd say that, because the bottom line is we don't friggin' even know. We know very little.
That's what I'm saying. there is so much people don't know. And if they get caught up, I'm going to watch my words here, okay? Because I really want you to have all kinds of wonderful calls. If somebody gets in a belief system from any particular kind of an organization, that they somehow think that particular organization might know more than another organization, which it might. But if somebody hasn't had some kind of personal experience with certain things, one does not know just by reading words if someone else has. I've had a near-death experience. I have talked to the shiny light beings. It is these are tears of joy. It is magnificent. Now I can say this because I lived it. But if someone hasn't lived it, they have no idea what kind of energy of love and beauty and color exists on other dimensional realities.
That's why I wrote the overview effect.
Yes.
And to put it out there, because unless you have been, now William Shatner, who was Captain Kirk in Star Trek, he went into space and he came back in tears because of the profound influence it had on him and the astronauts. It has a huge influence on them because they're experiencing something that not very many people get to experience. And it changes them in a fundamental way.
See, like I call myself a born mystic intuitive. There's stuff I've just known since I'm little because I do. I don't know how to prove it because I don't know how to do that. I'll leave that to somebody like Nassim Haramein, who's like an amazing physicist and also has a lot of metaphysics within him. But there's stuff I know. That's why now I'm called a psychic, a clairvoyant, and all that, because I can see, feel, and know. I know that there have been beings, whether they're humans like us or some other brand of a human or from other planets or other dimensional realities, way before our species came on the earth when we think we came.
Well, remember, we are eternal beings. So a long time is a really, 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 really long time. Arbe has been our guest. We're going to have to go. I get you a whole minute to tell me. And why don't you talk about your sister real quick? She's on a ventilator. She needs help. Go to. I'll do it for you. Go to GoFundMe, and just search Audrye Arbe, and you'll find her GoFundMe page. I'm pretty sure.
Can I give my phone number? Everybody can reach me. Okay. I have a U.S. SIM card, 917-494-0628. 917-494-0628. I love this, Kevin. I love what you're doing with this show. I love how you're evolving. I really send you kudos and mwah for all this. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And please send healing energy to you are anyway, but send even more healing energy to your sister.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and you are awesome, and good luck to you. And
thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Okay, that's a yes. I'm telling you, yes.
Perfect. Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's Kevin@kmmedia.pro.